trauma bond, in a nutshell, the trauma bond is when you develop loving feelings for a person who is abusive or not good for you. And there's always this sense of rescuing, right? You become, and you become chemically dependent on this person through these cycles of abuse. And so what happens in the relationship, you have the idolization phase where this person makes you feel so good, and you know that, or you have no question that this is the man that you want to be with, man or woman, that you want to be with. And during the devaluation phase, whenever they start to insult you or slowly strip away your value and your worth, what happens in that devaluation phase is it produces low levels of stress, which is like cortisol in your brain. And the only thing that makes that stress go away when you're having this conflict is to go back into this love bomb phase. And typically it's an extreme low. Like they'll make you feel really low. You'll get to a certain point, and then they'll come back in and make up for whatever it was that they did. And it feels like things are great and moving forward in a positive direction. And that releases dopamine. It's like a reward chemical. The dopamine is released. And so what happens is you become dependent on these cycles, and these highs and lows play out throughout the relationship. The longer you're in it, the harder it is to get out of these cycles. So when the relationship ends, we've gotten so accustomed to them being that source of reward or that source of happiness when we're at the pit of the low, that when we're out of the relationship, it's like the lowest of the low, because the thing that used to make us feel better isn't there anymore. And what happens is we become extremely depressed. We don't know why. We know that we feel changed, and we can't explain why we feel changed, and we don't know how to make ourselves feel better. And I actually wrote a little, like, extensively about this in the second half of my book. When I take a step back and realize kind of what I did to heal, I got into the habit of refinishing furniture. Like whenever it's replacing behaviors is really at its core. That's what it is. I feel sad. I want to call him because I know that it's going to make me feel better. It's like an instant relief, but I don't want to do this because I want off this damn hamster wheel. I'm tired of this. And so recognizing when you're at your lowest point and understanding I am responsible for picking my ass up and figuring this out, because I'll be damned if I feel like this. This is not my ending. Like, this is not how my story ends. And so knowing that you are going to go through periods of depression and withdrawal. I had night sweats and nightmares. I cannot tell you, and I didn't know what was happening to me. I didn't know that was a thing, and it absolutely is. So being aware that these are the things that are going to happen when you're getting out of these toxic relationships, and knowing that you have the power to make yourself feel better. And it's not him or her. It's figuring out what I refinished furniture. I would feel bad. And I had social anxiety that developed during the relationship. So going out wasn't the best thing for me. So I started buying all this furniture and refinishing it if I felt like I had all of this tension and I didn't want to sleep or cry or be sad. And sometimes I would cry while I was standing. Going for a walk, when you work on your physical health, everyone knows that it produces serotonin. Going for a walk and getting exercise, it'll produce endorphins, and those are the positive things that our brain and our bodies need. And we can trick ourselves into being happy. It doesn't feel good at first, but eventually when you start progressively making these more positive changes, just like you made the negative ones when you were with the narcissist, it's kind of in reverse. You make all of these small changes over time that are so beneficial for your well-being and for your healing.
Yes, perfectly explained. Perfectly. And it's so confusing if you don't know what it is. Because it's just like, why do I keep doing this? And then you're beating yourself up. Shame, guilt. Like, what is wrong with me? But it's actual scientifically like a thing.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. It's not that you're crazy. It's not that you don't have willpower or whatever it is. It's actually your body fiending for that
relief.
for the roller coaster, basically the high.
Yeah.
And then you get back
That's what it
down
is.
to the low.